Expansion of social and environmental programs that Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says will strengthen the economy.
We'll bring down the everyday costs for housing and higher education that make it harder for Americans to secure a place in our middle class.
The vote was pushed to this morning after Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy spoke overnight for 8 hours and 32 minutes, a new record. He criticized the proposals.
Every page of this new Washington spending supports more waste, more fraud, more abuse, and more corruption.
President Biden turns 79 tomorrow. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says he will travel today to Walter Reed Medical Center for a routine physical. ABC's Karen Travers in Washington says it's his first in office.
When his campaign released a medical report for Mr. Biden back in December 2019, he was under treatment for 4 different conditions, including a type of irregular heart rhythm, higher concentrations of fats or lipids in the blood, gastroesophageal reflux, and seasonal allergies. Just after winning the election, the president suffered a fractured foot after falling while chasing his dog at his home in Wilmington, Delaware.
Today's the 4th day of jury deliberations in the Kenosha, Wisconsin homicide trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, charged with killing 2 people and wounding a third during protest last year in Kenosha. He says he acted in self-defense. California is one of 14 states that's authorized COVID-19 vaccine boosters for all adults. And Dawn Weathersby, the vaccine manager in Marin County, says requests are now way up.
The demand has really increased over the last couple of days since the eligibility criteria has opened up.
And today, the FDA expected to authorize boosters of Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines for all adults. You're listening to ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
There's new scrutiny on social media giant Meta, formerly Facebook, with a probe linked to a popular app. ABC's M. Gwynn has details.
A bipartisan group of attorneys general from 11 states in the District of Columbia is investigating accusations that Meta promoted Instagram while knowing about the negative mental health impact the app can have on young people. Massachusetts Attorney General says the states are looking into whether the company's actions violated state consumer protection laws, saying Meta, quote, chose to ignore or in some cases double down on known manipulations that pose a real threat to physical and mental health.
China says it's not aware of the controversy surrounding tennis pro Peng Shuai. She vanished 2 weeks ago after accusing a former top government official of sexual assault. Steve Simon, the head of the Women's Tennis Association, is questioning the authenticity of an email that Chinese state media says Peng wrote, saying she's safe and that the assault allegation was not true.
I don't think there's any validity in it, and we won't be comfortable until we have a chance to speak with her directly.
Austria is imposing a 10-day nationwide lockdown next week to contain another wave of COVID-19 cases. It's also making vaccinations mandatory February 1st. That's as a top health official calls Germany one big outbreak. That nation's chief of disease control is calling for urgent measures to tackle the rise in cases. This is ABC News.
Hundreds of thousands of people have said goodbye to their overpriced Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile plans and switched to Pure Talk on the same great 5G coverage as one of those carriers. Get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. The average family is saving over $800 a year. Just dial pound 250 and say Jill50 to save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250. Say Jill50.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the list.
Good morning and happy Friday. Our cold front has now moved east and we are seeing a cooler and blustery morning out there. For this afternoon, we'll see a sunny sky, cooler temperatures as well. Highs today staying in the low to mid 50s. We'll see a clear sky and cold night ahead. We'll be starting off in the upper 20s and low 30s Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, we'll see a mostly sunny sky becoming partly cloudy. Highs Saturday back in the low to mid 50s once again. Milder on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
34 degrees here on this beautiful Friday morning. Here it is on Friday already. Thank goodness it's finally Friday, friends. 34 degrees, and we're warming up to 58, and tonight dropping back to 29 with some frost factors. Big full moon out there this morning with the eclipse. I don't know if you got a chance to see those or not, but it was quite a sight to see. 7:06, I have these death announcements this morning. Janice Songster, formerly of Forest City, left this earth on November the 16th. The family will have a private service due to COVID conditions. Again, that's Janice Songster. Johnny Henson, age 68 of Mooresboro, passed away Tuesday, November 16th at hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The family will conduct a celebration of Johnny's life on a later date. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Johnny Henson. Rhonda Michelle Beasley, age 34, recently of Ellenboro, passed away Monday, November the 8th. There will be a private family-only service held for Rhonda. Mike Behan's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of those arrangements for Rhonda Michelle Beasley. Randy Dean Early, age 60 of Elizabeth Avenue, Forest City, died Tuesday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. The funeral service will be at 3 o'clock Saturday, November 20th at Racepath Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The family will receive friends from 5 until 7 this evening at Paget and King. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for Randy Early. Jesse Perry, age 85 of East Main Street, Forest City, passed away Saturday, October 30th. A graveside service will be conducted at 2 o'clock tomorrow at Mount Harmony Baptist Church Cemetery. Again, that is Jesse Perry. Barbara Ann Cash, age 61 of Church Street, died Wednesday, November the 10th, following an extended illness. A gathering of family and friends to celebrate Barbara's life will be held from 3 until 4 o'clock tomorrow at Crow's Mortuary in Rutherfordton. Crow's Mortuary helping the family of Barbara Ann Cash. Cathay Dean McCurry, 70 of Golden Valley, died Saturday, November 13th at Adrian Health in Shelby. A memorial service will be conducted at 2 o'clock tomorrow at Golden Valley Church. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Cathay Dean McCurry. Jerry Allen, age 81 of Sparks Crossing, Spindale, died Wednesday, November the 17th at his home. Funeral arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by the Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory. Again, that's Jerry Allen of Spindale. Beverly Phillips Davis, age 64 of Spindale, formerly of Mooresboro, died November 14th at Rutherford Regional Service. Rutherford Regional services will be held tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Father's Vineyard. And Pruitt Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. They're asking you please wear masks. Again, that's Beverly Phillips Davis of Spindale. James Manuel Hill, 70 of Union Mills, passed away Thursday, November the 18th at his home. Graveside services will be held 2 p.m. Sunday, November the 21st at Shingle Hollow Congregational Holiness Church. And Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of James Manuel Hill of Union Mills. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become available to us, you can tune in this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report to get the complete information on these and others as they become available. It's 10 minutes after 7. Bill O'Reilly Morning Update coming up next here on WCAB.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Car repairs often feel like a lose-lose situation. The expensive payments and paperwork feel never-ending. But ever since I called Car Shield, that all gets handled for me. That's a win-win. I just select my favorite mechanic, and Car Shield's administrators do the rest. So get coverage today, and you'll see why Car Shield cars go farther. Please visit carshield.com/bill to save 10%. A deductible may apply. On this Friday, I am a simple man, as you may know, and I have a simple question. Why are companies like Disney, NBC, Comcast, CNN paying people to spew hatred on television? It's a simple question. So take the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. On MSNBC in particular, and again, that's NBC News, they convicted this 17-year-old on the night the incident happened. They didn't care what the facts were. They wanted him to be punished, and punished in a severe way. Disney owns The View. Every single day, these ladies spout the most racist stuff you could imagine. White people are bad. The patriarchy's got to be destroyed. If you criticize the left, you are a racist. Every day. And this isn't some little cable show. Disney is financing this. So my question is, what are you doing? Do you not know that intelligent Americans can see the hatred? Do you not know you are paying for it? Disney, NBC, Comcast, CNN? So far, there has not been a big blowback against these giant media corporations. So far. I can't predict whether it will happen, but I hope it does. Now this. Attention investors want predictable monthly cash flow? How about double-digit annualized targeted returns with the benefits of real estate without being a landlord? Peace of mind comes from investing with a 15-year industry leader. Savvy investors are learning about the NRIA Real Estate Development Fund, and you should too. So please call 800-800-1414. That's easy, 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at NRIA.net.
That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
The most music's on us, WCAB.
Hello, this is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. Gilbert Talks Taxes because, as we all know, taxation with representation has not been such a good idea either. So put on a pot of coffee because I'll be talking about tax law, tax rules and changes, regulations, retirement, financial strategies, and of course, I'll be telling you how to handle the IRS. This is Gilbert. Listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 right here, WCAB AM 590, FM 100.9.
Tomorrow morning from 7:30 until 1 o'clock, 7:30 till 1 tomorrow, at 101 Callahan Coon Road in Spindale, there's an amazing mega yard sale. Carter's Custom Cabinetry is clearing things out to make room. Furniture, vanities, an array of high-quality household goods, luxury clothing, top brands. All sales are cash only. Everything will move quickly, so show up early. That's 101 Callahan Coon Road in Spindale, right behind O Susanna Clothing. That is tomorrow, starting at 7:30, going until 1 o'clock tomorrow for this big mega yard sale, warehouse clear-out, and much more.
Today, if you're going to make a long-distance phone call, you have to take into consideration the time zone of the person you're calling. With a possible 3-hour difference, it very well could be before our past business hours. Back in the Old West, it wasn't this way. It was actually virtually impossible to know what time it was in the next town or territory. This is because clocks were set to the local movement of the sun. In effect, each town had its own time zone. Local times were established when the sun was at its highest point in the sky. This was known as noon or high noon. Since towns were some distance apart and travel between them took days or even weeks, this time difference wasn't much of a problem. But as railroads started crisscrossing the continent, the time between towns shrank to hours, and the time differences became a real problem. It was necessary for railroad timetables to list dozens of arrival and departure times for the same train, and that's no way to operate a railroad. With the railroads being extremely powerful, the American and Canadian railroads got together and divided the continent into 4 different time zones at the 75th, 90th, 105th, and 120th meridians. On November 18, 1883, the new time zones took effect. Most Americans and Canadians immediately accepted the new time schedules. However, it was not until 1918 that the federal government officially adopted the time zones and placed them under the Interstate Commerce Commission. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James has added 2 new sandwiches to his already delightful menu. Along with the fresh-cooked burgers, sandwiches, fresh salads, hot dogs made to order, now try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Both come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford, or call 828-447-4644. And Mondays only, hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Well, it's another, thank goodness, it's finally Friday Friends Day here in the foothills, 17 minutes after 7, and time to go to the phones, find out what's been going on in the past few hours. Lieutenant Lowry with the Sheriff's Department is on the phone right now to give us an update from that department. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Doing great, thanks. Tell us what's been going on.
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 172 calls. We have... The jail has 170 detainees, and they have processed 13 arrests. Under arrest reports, we have Anthony Fitzgerald of Ellenboro, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. We have Juan Cortez of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. We have Brittany Taylor of Rutherford, failure to appear on misdemeanor. James Ridgewell of Rutherford, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Nancy Good of Rutherford, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Louise Tarantino, charged with failure to inform of any new online identifiers. We have Brandy Laughlin of Mooresboro, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. And for incident reports, we only have 2. We have a larceny reported by Rutherford County Schools. It was a musical instrument had been taken from school. And then we have an incident of found property. A bicycle was found. It is a Whirlwind Genesis 26-inch bicycle. And that's it.
Lieutenant Lowry, thank you very much for this report, and I hope you have a safe weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's 18 past the hour. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Forest Hunt Elementary School has a new principal. Scott Hopper is the new principal at Forest Hunt Elementary. In a special meeting Thursday, the Rutherford County School Board of Education approved the appointment on the recommendation by Rutherford County Superintendent David Sutton. So congratulations to Scott Hopper. And here is Amanda speaking to us via telephone from 911 Communications Center. Amanda, good morning. What's on your report today?
Well, in the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communication Center has processed 405 911 calls and administrative calls, which consists of 39 for the emergency medical services, 142 for the Sheriff's Office, 45 for Forest City, 6 for Lake Lure, 41 for Rutherford, and 42 for Stendal. Lake Lure had a fire alarm assisted by Fairfield and Bills Creek. That is all.
Thank you so much. You have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
No high school football action tonight is all over with, unfortunately, but we do have a UNC Wofford football game tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow morning, actually, with a 10 o'clock countdown to kick off. That's tomorrow morning, UNC and Wofford playing football. Let us check in at Danieltown, SDO Fire District. Ruby Taylor, good morning.
Good morning.
How's your morning looking so far? Pretty good?
Pretty good. I went out on the ramp, and there's some ice out there.
Oh, my. Oh.
Yep.
Well, you be careful.
Well, I am. I'm not going out there to.
Yeah.
The fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday calendar, I've got Bill Cole, Mike Homer, Randy Marr, and Peyton Jarrett having birthdays today. Hope they have a nice day. Tomorrow, Tracy Wilson. Hope they have a nice day. Then Sunday, Cameron Blake has a birthday, and I hope he has a nice day. And the signs are in the arms today, tomorrow, and going to the breast on Sunday. And that's all I got, Jim.
Ruby, did you get up in time to see the eclipse of the moon?
No.
Yeah, slept in.
I was asleep.
Well, I don't blame you for that. You have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now we're checking up the mountains up around the Fairfield Mountains area, Bills Creek community. Larry's going to be my guest at 8:30. Larry Gray's going to be in here, and I'm talking with Gary, not Larry. Gary Wilson this morning. How you doing, Gary?
That's my twin brother, Larry.
You call anything as long as supper time, right?
That's it. Just call me anything, but don't forget to call me supper time. Yeah, we're getting quiet up here this morning. We're in a little chilly start, about 35 degrees. It was nice yesterday. It was around 71 and warm, and then we had a little front come through and dropped the temperature overnight. Going to drop it even more, sound like, about Monday, so.
Yes.
Be in for a few cold days. But just getting close to Thanksgiving. That's generally what happens around this time of the year. But we're no fire calls for us overnight, and everything off to a peaceful start. Bills Creek's having their raffle this year on November 20th. I think they're going to have a drawing at 7 p.m. So if you haven't bought your tickets yet, see any of the Bills Creek firemen, and they'll be glad to see you, son. And that's about all we got going, Jim.
All right, Garrett, did you see the eclipse this morning? Were you up early enough?
Did
you see the eclipse of the moon this morning?
No, I didn't. I didn't manage to get up for that. Did you see it?
I saw it, part of it. It was already waning when I came in, but it was sort of interesting to see it. Half of it.
I forgot all about it. I heard them talking about it on the news yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll catch the next one in 200 years or so.
I hope you are around. Have a good weekend, Gary.
You too.
See you. Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
DeVern Upton is our next reporter over in Boston, North Carolina, on this Friday morning. Good morning, DeVern. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm just happy as I can be because it's Friday.
That's right. The weekend's coming up. We have 44 degrees over here in Boston. It's supposed to get much colder this weekend. Fire department had no calls. Don't forget to go by Whistle Stop Baker and get you some goodies over the weekend and for Thanksgiving. And also the bee supply store there on Depot Street. Go in and check it out. Got a lot of good items for Christmas. And I hope everyone has a good weekend and stay safe.
Did you say 44 over there?
Yes.
Wow, you're warm compared to us over here. We're 34. So you're in the warm spot this morning.
That's right. Got a warm heart.
There you go. DeVern, have a good weekend.
Same to you.
Bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Let's check in now up at the Hudlow area, Hudlow Fire District, and Bob Hodges on the scene, watching things for us and reporting to us this morning. Happy Friday, Bob.
Well, happy Friday morning here. Made another week here, didn't we?
We sure did, and it's the month slipping on by.
That's right. It's going to be long here to the end of the month, but we'll have some cool mornings now. It's chilly around the edges up here this morning, and look like it's going to be cool off for the next few days there. We're going to have some winter-type weather there.
I believe so.
Yeah, so get prepared for that. When Thanksgiving week look like it's going to be cool about most of the week. So, and Jim, with our fire department, we've answered a couple of medical calls. And birthdays for Sunday, Bryson Carter. Jim, that's about it up here, and I hope everybody has a good weekend.
I kind of like Thanksgiving when it's kind of cool, don't you? I like a little coolness. I don't want it to be cold, but just enough to sort of wear a long sleeve jacket maybe.
Well, that's right. Look like it's going to be just about right for Thanksgiving there. So I've seen it be 70 degrees, and then I've seen we have snow floors before on it. So you can't ever tell about Thanksgiving what it's going to be there. But like you say, I like a little cool weather. It makes that turkey taste better.
It does indeed, yeah.
Yeah, sit by the fire and eat that turkey. And
sip some coffee or hot tea. That makes a great day for us.
That's right. It sure does there.
Well, you have a good weekend, Bob.
You too, Jim.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. If you want to go to a mega yard sale, a warehouse clear out, and so much more, then you'll want to be Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, 7:30 until 1 at 101 Callahan Coon Road in Spindale, because there is an amazing mega yard sale. Carter's Custom Cabinetry is clearing things out to make room. They have furniture, vanities, an array of high-quality household goods, luxury clothing, top brands, all sales cash only, and everything will be moving quickly, so be sure to show up early at 101 Callahan Coon Road in Spindale, right behind Old Susanna Clothing, and that'll be mega yard sale, warehouse clearout, and much, much more tomorrow. Let's check in now with Sue Price over the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
How you doing over there?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
I am indeed.
On this nice, cool morning. Looks like we're going to have some cool mornings for a while.
I believe so.
Oh, well, we just stay in, stay good and warm, hopefully. Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department, so I reckon they've been quiet. And nothing on my church calendar or my personal calendar for today. Fairview's got a birthday for Jasper Yelton, and First Bride's got a birthday for Keith Towery, so I hope they will have a good day. And I'll remind our church folks that on the 28th, the Pony Mountain Boys will be at Duckins Creek Church to sing again. And I guess that's all I have this morning. It was just quiet and calm over here. You and Trey are going to be celebrating an anniversary this weekend, right?
We are indeed, yes.
Well, congratulations.
Wonderful woman
Hope
to put
you
up
have a
with
good
me.
weekend.
Thank you. We're going to try to celebrate a little bit. But she's been a good woman to put up with me all these years.
Well, I'm sure she feels the same way.
Yeah, well, thank you. You have a great weekend.
You too, Jim.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, if you have any problems with your IRS situation, your paperwork, your taxes, or your refunds, you have any questions, needed somebody to look at it, to do it right for you, then listen to IE Accounting and Tax Service. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled A-R-Y-E-E. Well, it's a beautiful day in the Shingle Hollow community in the Fire District, and Tina White's on the phone to give us all the news from there. Good morning.
Good morning. I was going to tell you, it is beautiful and bright and shiny up here this Friday morning. Oh, just a wonderful place to be.
Everybody should wake up and enjoy it, shouldn't they?
They should. It is cold, though. It's 32 degrees. It's really chilly. There's frost on the pumpkins this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Fire departments were all quiet. Birthdays I have on Pawnee Knobs. Well, I have an anniversary on Pawnee Knobs' calendar today. It's Mr. and Mrs. Stanley and Wanda Mills. I hope they have a wonderful anniversary, excuse me. And then for birthdays, I have Branson Bidenfield, Candy Owens, and Pam Smith, Marie Bumgarner. That's all I've got for birthdays. Nothing on Pleasant Groves for birthdays. Pilgrim's Way Baptist Church is having a 10th annual After Thanksgiving Jubilee. So November 29th through December 3rd, they will have services at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. for this Jubilee, and they're praying it up and getting ready for some exciting stuff with the Lord. White House Community Church Clubhouse is having a turkey shoot this Saturday and every Saturday between now and Christmas. Starts at 11 a.m. each Saturday. And now tomorrow they're having a bake sale and a vendor sale, like a little Christmas vendor sale. Starts at 10 a.m., goes till 2 p.m. Everyone come out and do some Christmas shopping and have some goodies while you browse. Pleasant Grove Baptist Church is having a community-wide Thanksgiving service on the 24th, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. There'll be a message and then some snacks afterwards. And that's all I've got. I meant to tell you yesterday, you asked me on Wednesday, was it foggy up here? And everybody was reporting how the fog was.
Yeah.
And it was just clear as a bell. Well, right after I got off the phone with you, got off the radio, went outside, and it was like it just dropped on us, a cloud. We were in a cloud. We couldn't even barely see our hand in front of us.
Well, we set that up to you. We didn't want you to be left out.
Well, thank you.
But it went away pretty soon, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, it didn't last too long.
Well, I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy and be careful up there. Be safe.
You too, Jim. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and blessed.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye. 7:36 here on this Friday morning report as we continue to call around the county. Brenda Kelly is back from her vacation. We'll be talking with her next. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197.
Hey folks, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton.
Now at 7:37, let's welcome her back to Rutherford County. Traveling around the country, has become an expert on the Ark and an expert on Elvis Presley. Good morning, Brenda Kelly.
Good morning. How are you on this fabulous Friday morning?
Doing great. You got back late, huh?
Yeah, about like 1 o'clock this morning.
Oh my.
But that's all right. We had a wonderful time. It was something else, I'll tell you. It was something to go in the house where Elvis lived. That was just special.
Yeah.
Because I've always been an Elvis fan.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Can you go in every room except where his bedroom was?
No, you can't even go upstairs. That's the private living quarters.
Yeah.
Because Priscilla and Lisa Marie and them still come up there for holidays and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so it was always private, and Elvis never would. He didn't like people up there, so no, they don't laugh. But all the rest of it we could go see. Yeah. It's amazing. It just blew my mind. And the Ark, goodness gracious, when you look at that thing, it's just, whew, humongous.
You can understand how they got so many animals on there, can't you?
Yeah, and I was looking at something, they've got dummies that look like real people. I mean, they look like real people. And I was standing there looking at it, and all of a sudden she started moving her head and her eyes, and I thought, now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And Noah talked to you, and he'd say, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. That just blew my mind.
Yeah, those animated characters they put together like that is really phenomenal.
I know it is, you know, and just how massive and how big and how it was built. I said, goodness gracious, the doors going from outside to in where the animals come in, you could drive a tractor trailer truck through them.
Yeah.
No problem.
And the living quarters, I thought I often wondered how on a ark like that, how they lived and where the animals lived, but the living quarters were pretty big.
Yeah, and had them little beds made back in the side wall, you know, and everything. And I thought, my goodness, yeah, it was amazing. And all them water pots that they had to have water to feed, you know, to give the animals and everything. It was something else. Yeah. Well, let's see. I've got 34 degrees on the front porch this morning. I don't have any birthdays today, but I want to wish you and Faye a happy anniversary tomorrow.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Because I know you won't be on the radio, and you'll be good to her.
I will. I will be good to her, yes.
Or she'll whip you.
She will.
And in ways of announcements, we got a Christmas party at the Union Mills Community Clubhouse December the 4th. They'll eat at 6 p.m., bring a well-filled picnic baskets. We'll have door prizes, so bring a gift. And they're selling raffle tickets, $1 each or 6 for $5. And first prize is $100, second prize is $75, third prize is $50, and then they're going to have a homemade quilt to be the fourth prize. And tickets are on sale at the door, or you can see Faye Flynn or Christine Ammons for tickets. And so far, I guess that's all I got going on, Jim.
All right, Brenda, we're glad to have you back. We missed you, and I know you were having a good time. I was able to see some of the pictures your daughter sent down, and I thought, well, I wish I was with them.
Well, I wished you had been too. It was just amazing to see. I'm going to tell you that hotel across from Graceland, I forget what it was called. It looked like it was made for the Queen. Something else.
Did y'all drive straight through it when you left up there? Come home last night?
No, we've been everywhere. We went from here to. We didn't go to Memphis that day, but we was within an hour and a half or 2 hours of it. We stopped and spent the night. Then went on up to Memphis the next day. We stayed there that day, that night. We stayed in Memphis 2 nights. And then we left, one of them nights we went on over into Mississippi. And then we come back, and then we left the day after we went to Graceland and went to Kentucky to the Ark. We've just been everywhere.
Wow, you did travel a lot, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's good for you.
Some of the people that was with us, me and my daughter and her friend's mother, had never been to Mississippi. I used to live in Mississippi, so it wasn't nothing to me. So
they
wanted to do that just so they could say they'd went shopping in Mississippi.
Am I cricket letter, humpback guy?
But you better go check on Luther Sweet thing and see if everything's all right in Ellenburg.
Well, thank you for being with us, and you get some sleep now.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye. Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills at 7:42, and we will check in Ellenboro right after this.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Now, our next stop on this bus around the county this morning is Ellenboro, and that's where we'll find Luther Gilligan directing traffic. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning. Standing on the white line, waving the by.
Watch out, somebody run over you.
Well, they tried to miss me. But it's a good morning down here, though. It's cool this morning, but it's quiet this morning. Nothing going on. Everything's peaceful. Fire department, they didn't have any calls yesterday or last night. Everybody got to sleep. Everything going good. We're looking for another good day today. Nothing else going on, but we want to remind everybody the Fiddlers Convention coming up tomorrow. Be 5 o'clock. I heard the Ellenburg Elementary School. I heard on Piney Mountain Road. Doors open 5 o'clock. The music will start at 6, so we're going to have a good time out there tomorrow night. So just come on down. And nothing else going on down here, so you have a good day up there. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
Make it a good one, and I'll see you then. Bye.
Take care now.
That's Lucy Gilligan reporting out of Ellenboro this morning. That wraps up our reports around the county, and we have birthdays and anniversaries coming up next. Birthdays and anniversaries for the 19th of November, November the 19th. So call us now at 287-3356, birthdays or anniversaries, and we'll be glad to put that on and give you a big old shout-out this morning. Call Todd at 287-3356. Dr. Larry Gregg's going to be my guest this morning, a little after 8 o'clock, about 8:10. He's coming in, Dr. Larry Gregg, longtime friend. He'll be talking about an event coming up you may want to know more about. We'll share that with you in just a few. Could you use an extra $8,000, maybe $1,500 or $500? Your opportunity to brighten things up this year is here. The 2021 Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce raffle tickets are now available. Only 500 tickets will be sold, and you could win $8,000, $1,500, or $500. 3 winners and tickets are available now at the Chamber office, Main Street, Rutherfordton, and here at WCAB. Our Chamber board members have them. The drawing this year will be held December 17th, live on WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM at 8:10, and it will be live streamed. Be a part of supporting the Chamber with your purchase of a raffle ticket. Tickets are $50, and the chances of winning $8,000, $1,500, or $500 are phenomenal. Have some fun, buy a ticket, and listen for the winning number. December 17th at 8:10. You know what? It could be you. If you'll catch me when I get off the air a little after 8:30 this morning, I'll have a few tickets here left, so if you want to come by and get yours, to be sure that you get one before they're all sold out. Hey, Friday night may be pizza night for many of you, movie and pizza night at your house. If it is, order your pizza from Granny B's. They got some delicious pizzas over there. You'll be glad that you finally had an opportunity to try one. If you eat one of theirs, you may never go back to the others. Granny B's special pizza. And meantime, if you're hungry this morning, stop by for breakfast. They're doing breakfast now. Yeah, 7 o'clock and until about 11, you can go in and have eggs any way you want to, sausage, gravy, biscuits. Enjoy your breakfast with our good friends over at Granny B's this morning in Spindale, right next to the Shake Shop. Now, birthdays and anniversaries coming up next.
Happy birthday.
Well, it's the 19th of November, and it's National Carbonated Beverage with Caffeine Day, so enjoy. Also National Play Monopoly Day. I could do that. I love to play Monopoly. Birthdays today include James A. Garfield. He was born in 1831, the 20th president, died in 1881. 1905, Tommy Dorsey, big band leader, was born. He died in 1956. You like big band music? I do love that. 1933, Larry King, a radio TV host, was born 1930. He died 2021. Dick Cavett was born in 1936. He was also a talk show host. Ted Turner, born in 1938. Dan Haggerty, 1941, Grizzly Adams actor. He died back in 2016. Calvin Klein, the fashion designer, 1942 was his birth. 1961, Meg Ryan, an actress, was born. 1962, Jodie Foster, actress, is her birthday today. Some of the big events on this day: 1805, Lewis and Clark reached the Pacific Ocean. 1863, Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. Now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB. Take a little personal privilege and wish my lovely wife a happy anniversary, which will be tomorrow. So happy anniversary, dear one. 7:48, Keys to Confident Living coming up in just a few moments.
A Georgian farmer was showing a Texas farmer how big his farm was. Our property line starts here, the Georgian said, goes through those trees in the distance, along the stream on the left, across those hills over yonder, back along that road on the right, and back to this tree stump. Well, the Texan said, that's pretty big. But back home on our farm, we get in the truck at sunrise and start to drive around the perimeter. Except for lunch and supper, we have to drive until midnight to get completely around our farm. What do you think of that? Yep, the Georgian replied. I used to have a truck like that too. We love to boast about what we have or think we are. People are constantly comparing their things with others to see who is on top. We love to think that we come out first. But the Bible warns against boasting. Boasting assumes that we were able to provide whatever it is that we have by our own power, ingenuity, and strength. The Apostle Paul says, "What are you so puffed up about? What do you have that God hasn't given you? And if all you have is from God, why act as though you are so great and as though you have accomplished something on your own?" Jeremiah, known as the weeping prophet, said, "Let him who boasts boast in the fact that he knows the loving and the righteous God." This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS. That number again, 1-888-333-KEYS.
Hello, this is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. Gilbert Talks Taxes.
I'm Brian Clark. 14 states are currently recommending COVID-19 vaccine boosters for all adults. That recommendation could become national today, as an FDA advisory board will meet this afternoon to discuss the topic of boosters. More from ABC's Trevor Alt.
Health experts say these booster shots after 6 months are crucial because your immunity wanes. And Pfizer says their booster will bring efficacy back up to 96% in people. Moderna says theirs is 92% effective against hospitalization from COVID.
President Biden's heading to Walter Reed Medical Center today for what the White House says is a routine physical, his first since taking office one day before his 79th birthday. The House is expected to vote on and pass the $1.75 trillion Build Back Better Act. That's the massive expansion of environmental and social programs. On Thursday, Majority Leader Steny Hoyer said it would strengthen the economy.
It will invest in child care, universal pre-K, and home care so that more Americans can get back to the workforce and grow our economy.
The vote was pushed to today after Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy spoke for a record 8 hours and 32 minutes overnight, criticizing the bill that he called wasteful. Jury deliberations enter their fourth day today in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's where Kyle Rittenhouse is charged with killing 2 people and wounding a third during protests in the city last year. He says he was acting in self-defense. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken's on his first trip to Africa, where he spoke about U.S.-Africa relations in a speech in Nigeria.
The United States firmly believes that it's time to stop treating Africa as a subject of geopolitics and start treating it as the major geopolitical player it has become.
His 5-day trip to the continent concludes in Senegal. You're listening to ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage, and should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
On Thursday, the U.S. Treasury announced a new round of sanctions and charges against Iranians who allegedly tried to undermine the 2020 presidential election with what the agency called various cyber ploys.
Iran condemning a fresh round of U.S. sanctions on 6 Iranians and 1 Iranian group accused of cyber-based attempts to influence the 2020 presidential election. The regime calling the sanctions, quote, desperate and illegitimate. The Biden administration keeping the pressure on Tehran 10 days before critical nuclear talks restart in Vienna. The president preparing for all scenarios, from a mutual return to full compliance with the 2015 nuclear accord to a so-called Plan B with allies here in the Middle East if the talks fail. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Health officials in Camden County, New Jersey say thousands of residents may have been exposed to hepatitis A after a Starbucks employee recently contracted the disease. The worker handled food at the Starbucks in Gloucester Township during 6 days in November. The company closed the store for cleaning and made sure all other employees got vaccinated. Heavy rain overnight caused flash flooding in Miami where cars were stranded. Some residents lost power. There's more rain expected today and through the weekend in South Florida. And Consumer Reports out with its annual list of most reliable car brands. Once again, Lexus tops the rankings. Tesla was near the bottom. This is ABC News.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect it is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Hello and happy Friday. We'll see a mostly sunny to completely sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures, though, significantly cooler today. Highs staying in the low to mid-50s. Clear sky overnight tonight. We'll be starting off in the upper 20s and low 30s Saturday morning. So a cold morning ahead. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies Saturday afternoon. Highs staying in the low to mid-50s. We're milder with a mostly cloudy sky on Sunday. Rain showers likely Sunday night and Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Well, it is indeed another great getting up morning here in the foothills. We have 35 degrees. Started out at 36, dropped to 34, back up to 35, but we're climbing to 58 and sunny skies and light wind today. We've had some pretty strong winds here of late. Let's look ahead toward next week, or toward the weekend. It looks like on Wednesday, partly cloudy, highs around 55. Thanksgiving Day, partly cloudy with highs around 59, dropping back to the mid-30s Thanksgiving night. Be perfect weather for the lighting and the lights in downtown Forest City on Thanksgiving night. To get back to how they used to do it, where you gathered and we In His Glory is going to sing a Christmas concert, and then they'll turn the lights on, and everybody's going ooh and ah about how beautiful those lights are. So if you can get out after Thanksgiving lunch, come on by downtown Forest City on Thursday of this coming week. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, I have a special guest with me in the studio. Let me remind you again that tomorrow from 7:30 until 1 o'clock at 101 Callahan Coon Road in Spindale, there's a mega yard sale, warehouse clear-out, and so much more. Carter's Custom Cabinetry is clearing out things to make room. Furniture, vanities, an array of high-quality household goods, luxury clothing, top brands, and all sales cash only. Everything will have to be moved out, so show up early. 101 Callahan Coon Road in Spindale, right behind old Susanna's Clothing. And make your plans to get there early because it will move pretty fast. Special guest coming up in just a moment.
'Twas the time of the holidays, and all through the house were to-do notes left by my loving spouse. The lights weren't hung, which she found problematic. They were still in a box somewhere in the attic. Then home from the store, my wife did appear. North Carolina Education Lottery scratch-offs in hand, and I started to cheer. 6 holiday scratch-offs to choose. What fun. I flew through my list, and now I'm done. This holiday season need not be a chore, because holiday scratch-offs are the gift that could be so much more. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 2.95 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
With me in the studio this morning is a friend, longtime friend. We've been friends a long, long time. We've worked together in several radio programs here. He's pastored several churches. He's been a professor at Gardner-Webb University, now doing some other work. And you recognize him probably from his blogs he's doing right now. Dr. Larry Gregg, welcome to our program.
Thank you, Jeb. It's good to be with you again.
It's good to see you. Now, I wanted to bring you in to talk a little bit. We have been doing this on our public service announcement. I wanted to give a little more insight into the community Thanksgiving service that you're involved with.
All right. Well, I'm glad to talk about it and appreciate the opportunity to. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed the activities for all of us for such a long time. And some things last year at the holiday season we weren't able to do that we're going to try to put back in place this year. The Rutherford Ministerial Alliance is hosting a community Thanksgiving service this coming Sunday afternoon rather than in a night service as we've done in the past. It will be at 2 o'clock. At the First United Methodist Church in Rutherfordton, and we'd like to encourage everyone who would like to be a part of this kind of ecumenical community service to come and share together with us in worship and fellowship. There are some things that folks need to keep in mind. We will be maintaining the usual COVID-19 precautions, and so you will need to wear a mask. And we will practice as much appropriate social distancing as we can with those who attend. Various ministers in the community will be leading different aspects of the service. Reverend Tony Ballou, who is the new rector at St. Francis and St. Gabriel, will be bringing the message, and it should be a good worship experience for us all. In addition to that, the Ministerial Alliance is partnering with Medicine Box Pharmacy and Laura Hodge there. Laura is going to be in place at First United Methodist and will be administering COVID-19 booster shots for anyone who'd like to get the booster shot after the service. And so if that's a need that you have and you'd like to take advantage of that opportunity, you're welcome to do so.
That is a different experience having someone there to give those booster shots. But how many years has this program, the Thanksgiving service been going? Have you done it several years?
Well, I've as I think back over my involvement here in Rutherford County, I think the first one that I was involved with and was probably 20 years ago.
Really?
So this is a long tradition among ministers of the Rutherford community, which I would like to say on their behalf, and I'm not as involved with them as I used to be when I was serving churches here in the area, but over better than 50 years of ministry, I don't think I've ever been involved with a more congenial, more supportive group of ministers across denominational lines than those that I've had the opportunity to interact with here in Rutherford.
So there'll be several speakers and several musicians?
There will be, and Dr. Don Schofield at the Presbyterian Church is the convener of this group and is the leader, and he has developed a program and assigned various different responsibilities. But ministers from across the churches will be leading different aspects of the service.
That's this coming Sunday afternoon?
Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock at First United Methodist Church.
And wear a mask.
And wear a mask, and if you'd like to get a COVID-19 booster, bring along with you the card from your previous shots, and Laura will be there, and she'll be perfectly willing to administer the boosters until she runs out of the vaccine.
Yeah. Well, let's pause a little bit from that and tell a little bit about, you're doing a blog now. I get your blog. Is that open to anyone to read?
Well, it is, and I have enjoyed it. You will recall a good many years ago now, I hosted a radio program here for you that involved addressing various different concerns within the community and with the world from a Christian perspective without being too churchy about it.
Mm-hmm, yes.
And that ended up in a couple of books and a variety of different things that I continued to do over the years. And some year and a half or so ago, folks encouraged me to begin to publish those to an email list. Anyone who, and I do them monthly, anyone who'd like to receive them, if they will send me an email address, and I would be glad to put them on the list and let them have access to that information or to those thoughts. Also, each Monday morning, either Sunday evening or Monday morning, depending on how things are going with me, I do a devotional on Facebook. And if people would like to receive that, they're welcome to send me a Facebook request, a friend request, and I will put them on the list to receive that as well. The Monday morning devotions for the last year or so have actually been drawn together, and a publisher has bought the rights to them, and they will be coming out, or a collection of them will be coming out in the spring in a book entitled The Random Musings of an Old Man. And so later on,
you must have had somebody else write that for you then.
Yeah, right.
You haven't gotten
Exactly.
there yet.
Exactly. Actually, I didn't even get the title right, which tells you about the old man. It's actually entitled "The Random Musings of a Contented Old Man."
Okay.
And I will be providing through the blog and through the Facebook more information about when it will actually be available for purchase, but it will be sometime probably in the late spring.
All right, good. Let us know. We'll have you back to talk about that.
We're in the editing process now, where publishers and writers push and shove on one another to get satisfied with what ultimately is going to be printed.
We'll let you go in just a minute. Your blog, I enjoy reading when it comes out. It has an interesting title itself. Tell what that title is.
Well, it's actually based on the title is based on the radio program that you and I did together years ago. It's Believing Thinkers and Thinking Believers. In which I have argued for most of my ministry that having faith in God and what God is doing in the world doesn't require that we have to check our brains at the door. I think that as people of faith, God expects us to use the intelligence that God has given us in order to think our way through our behavior, our conduct, and our witness in the world.
Well, I appreciate you being by today, Larry Gregg. Dr. Larry Gregg, my guest this morning, and we've been talking about the Rutherfordton Ministerial Alliance hosting a community Thanksgiving service Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock at the Rutherfordton First United Methodist Church. And then following the service, Laura Hodge of the Medicine Box Pharmacy will host a COVID-19 booster shot clinic at First Methodist as well. And they're asking you to wear a mask if you're coming to the service. I hope you and your wife have a great Thanksgiving.
You and Faye as well, Jim.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
And I'll be back in just a moment.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recalled devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines, and November is Diabetes Month. Get 10% off diabetic socks for the month of November at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Some news from here and there this morning. We'll look at a couple of stories in the Sheriff's Report with Lieutenant Lowry coming up also in just a few moments. Scott Hopper is the new principal at Forest Hunt Elementary School. In a special meeting Thursday, the Rutherford County School Board of Education approved the appointment on the recommendation by the Superintendent David Sutton. Hopper begins work at Forest Hunt Elementary School Monday, November the 22nd. He will replace Tammy Ash, who earlier this month was named director of the RCS Exceptional Children Program. Hopper was selected from 9 applicants for the Forest Hunt position. All 9 were initially interviewed. Hopper was a North Carolina teaching fellow and earned his undergraduate degree in mathematics and teacher licensure at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill in 2009. He earned a master's degree in education from Wake Forest University and an NC principal's license through Appalachian State University. He has served as Rutherford County school teacher and since 2016 as assistant principal at East Rutherford High School. Sutton expressed confidence that Hopper will lead Forest Hunt Elementary School to continued success, so congratulations to Scott Harper. About a dozen local volunteers serve as ambassadors along the Thermal Bell Rail Trail. The Rutherford Outdoor Coalition, or ROC is referred to, which operates the Rail Trail Ambassador Program, is seeking additional ambassadors. The rail trail is paved, walking, running, cycling trail on an old railroad bed running just over 13 miles from the Gilkey community through Ruth, Rutherfordton, Spindale, and Forest City. The Rail Trail Ambassador Program offers friendly faces along the trail who interact with those enjoying the trail, offering information or any needed assistance. Jess Kerr, Outdoor Programs Director of the Rutherford Outdoor Coalition, said some of the ambassadors are walking, some are riding bikes. These are people who love the trail and are normally active on the trail on a regular basis. Kerr says the ambassadors set their own schedules and are on the trail at various times, some more frequently than others. So if you'd like to do that, then you might want to contact the Rutherford Outdoor Coalition and become an ambassador and maybe help welcome folks to our area and help things stay safe. The Republican Party leader here in the mountains is now running for Congress. Thursday, November the 18th, NC11 Chair Michelle Woodhouse announced she will run for the newly created 14th District, now that Congressman Madison Cawthorn is running in the 13th District. Woodhouse said when Congressman Cawthorn made the decision to move to the 13th, the constituents of the 14th called on me to run, and I'm so honored to have the support of constituents here to send a conservative warrior from North Carolina to represent the western part of the state in Washington, D.C. The new 14th district was created after the 2020 census and includes much of what is currently the 11th district. A Limestone College University senior was found dead Thursday afternoon at his off-campus apartment down in Gaffney. According to the Cherokee County coroner, 24-year-old Mark Tyler Odell was found by a maintenance worker at his apartment on Stonecrest Lane shortly before 1 o'clock. The coroner said Odell lived alone and his family members had not been able to reach him since Wednesday afternoon. Cherokee County coroner Dennis Fowler said he did not see any indication of foul play in his death, but will await autopsy results before determining cause and manner of death. Odell was a baseball player for Limestone University and had lived in Gaffney for the past 3 years. Limestone University released a statement Thursday saying the school, along with the athletics department, are saddened to learn of the sudden passing of Limestone students, so that their counseling center will be open to anyone who wants to attend that and get some counseling. Limestone asked for the entire Limestone One Nation to remember Tyler's family, friends, teammates, and coaches in your thoughts and prayers as we mourn his passing and celebrate his life. More will come out on that as the autopsy is completed in Gaffney. 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a moment.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford's Gregory's Original.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates, wanting to let you know that we have moved. Our new office is located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City. Come see us for auto, home, or your commercial insurance needs. Also come see me, Dwayne Hunt, for your Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, or prescription drug plans. See us at Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City, or call 828-245-5301.
Todd will be with you in the morning for the morning show and do the call run report at 7 o'clock, and then Gilbert Carmona at 8 o'clock. And we hope you'll join us throughout the weekend. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy the beauty of the day. Lieutenant Lowry is next with the Sheriff's Report.
70 detainees, and they have processed 13 arrests. Under arrest reports, we have Anthony Fitzgerald of Ellenboro, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. We have Juan Cortez of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. We have Brittany Taylor of Rutherford, failure to appear on misdemeanor. James Ridgewell of Rutherford, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Nancy Good of Rutherford, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Louise Tarantino, charged with failure to inform of any new online identifiers. We have Brandy Laughlin of Mooresboro, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. And for incident reports, we only have two. We have a larceny reported by Rutherford County Schools. It was a musical instrument had been taken from school. And then we have an incident of found property. A bicycle was found. It is a Whirlwind Genesis 26-inch bicycle. And that's it.
This is 100.9 FM and the mighty 590. The best of both worlds, Rutherfordton.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Duke and Louisville under the lights of Wallace Wade Stadium last night, and the Cardinals shut them out early. Louisville found the end zone on 9 of their 10 offensive drives in a 62-22 drubbing of the Blue Devils in Durham. Duke head coach David Cutcliffe after the Cardinal Clinic.
There's a lot of hard work, commitment represented in our locker room. Why it doesn't pay off, there's no easy answer. But
on the ice, the Red-Hot Hurricanes continue their West Coast road trip by beating the Anaheim Ducks 2-1. Seth Jarvis made up for a missed penalty shot by scoring the tie-breaking goal midway through the third period. Ended up holding up to be the game winner. Frederick Anderson made 31 saves between the pipes against his former team, and Coach Rod Brindamore credits his goalie for carrying them along.
We weren't good, and he allowed us to kind of hang in there, just kind of build our game. I don't think we were ever great in this game, that's for sure, but he was. And if you want to have one player be great on your team every night, that's the guy.
The Canes 3-0 on their season-long 6-game road trip, which is also the first leg of a 15-game stretch that has Carolina playing just twice at home. Tomorrow, they're in L.A. for a matinee versus the Kings. Cam Newton getting the start Sunday when the Panthers host former head coach Ron Rivera and the Washington football team. Bam Bam Cam buying up a bunch of tickets, 50 of them. He wants them to go to Panthers fans who have never been to a game before. He says they have to take back Bank of America Stadium, the place which he says is like no other for him on Sunday.
Because it will be a playoff atmosphere for more ways than one.
NFL kicking off Week 11 of the season last night, meanwhile, with Thursday Night Football. The Pats posting a shutout in Atlanta. New England winning their 5th straight. The D shutting down the Falcons 25-0. Mac Jones connected with Nelson Aguilar on the game's only offensive touchdown. Nick Folk hit 4 field goals while the defense took care of the rest. Kyle Van Noy logged 2 sacks and a pick 6 for the Pats, who improved to 7-4. This is NCN Sports.
North Carolina retailers are the backbone of the local economy, and now you hold the power to help them rebound faster by spending your dollars in North Carolina. Our retailers' first priority is the health and safety of their employees and customers. So please be patient with retail employees, especially if they ask you to wear a mask. In most cases, they are required by law. The NC Retail Merchants Association proudly represents these dedicated retailers and encourages you to shop smart and shop NC. Learn more at ncrma.org.
North Carolina's veterans are in trouble. 1 in 4 have no access to affordable health insurance. These people risk their lives for us in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now it is time for us to honor them and their service. North Carolina, we can do right for our veterans. We can close the coverage gap and help those who served our nation get the care that they need and deserve. To learn more about closing the coverage gap, go to careforcarolina.com. That's care, the number 4, Carolina.com.
Steph Curry scored 20 of his 40 points in the fourth quarter, hitting 3 straight threes, and the NBA leading Golden State Warriors overcame a 13-point deficit to beat Cleveland 104-89 last night. The Warriors ran off the first 17 points of the fourth quarter to seize an 85-81 advantage in rallying back. Shorthanded Philadelphia beat the Denver Nuggets 103-89 and snapped a 5-game losing skid. The Grizzlies clipped the Clippers 120-108. Miami Heat with 32 points from Jimmy Butler as they took down the Wizards. Timberwolves topping San Antonio. And the Raptors edging the Jazz 119-103. Rudy Gay hit 5 threes and scored 20 in his season debut. He missed Utah's first 14 games while recovering from off-season surgery on his right heel. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello and happy Friday. We'll see a mostly sunny to completely sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures, though, significantly cooler today. Highs staying in the low to mid-50s. Clear sky overnight tonight. We'll be starting off in the upper 20s and low 30s Saturday morning, so a cold morning ahead. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies Saturday afternoon. Highs staying in the low to mid-50s. We're milder with a mostly cloudy sky on Sunday. Rain showers likely Sunday night and Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
It is warming up nicely. It is up to 39 now, started out at 36, and we're climbing all the way up to 58 and sunny skies and light wind, only 5 miles per hour today. And tonight, dropping back down to about 29 with areas of frost likely to develop. And Sunday, mostly cloudy, highs around 58. Beautiful weekend here in the neighborhood. So enjoy yourself as much as you can outdoors and say something nice to your neighbor. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program this morning is Caleb and Jessica Farmer.
Good morning, everybody.
My name's Caleb, and I'm here with my wife, Jessica. And we're so excited to be here with you this morning, wanting to share some things that God has put on our heart about loving God, our relationship with God, about how He wants us to walk with Him, to serve Him, to obey Him. And one scripture that I always like to bring up and reference anytime I get to share is one of the foundational scriptures that we at the Word of Faith Fellowship are taught and have been taught for as long as I've been a member, which has been over 30 years. And that's in John chapter 5. In John chapter 5, verse 30, and actually I'll go back to verse 19, Jesus is talking, and he answered them by saying, I assure you, most solemnly I tell you, the Son is able to do nothing of himself of his own accord, but he is able to do only what he sees the Father doing. For whatever the Father does is what the Son does in the same way and in his turn. And then in verse 30, Jesus goes on to say, I am able to do nothing from myself, independently of my own accord, but only as I am taught by God, and as I get his orders. Even as I hear, I judge, and I decide as I am bidden to decide. And as the voice comes to me, so I give a decision, and my judgment is right and just and righteous, because I do not seek or consult my own will. I have no desire to do what is pleasing to myself, my own aim, my own purpose, but only the will and pleasure of the Father who sent me. And at the Word of Faith, we have been taught, all of us, God created us in his likeness. All of us have the capacity to hear the voice of God. All of us can hear that voice and obey what he is telling us to do. And as you can see in John chapter 5, this was the relationship with Jesus and the Father. It was total submission and humility, that Jesus could not do anything of his own accord. And what we wanted to share with you today was about how when we walk with God, when we who are Christians, who are called by his name, we walk with Jesus in our daily life, we want to love him and obey him with our whole hearts. That sums up everything that we are called to do. If we love God with our whole hearts, then we will obey him, then we will do what he has told us to do, then we will have love in our hearts for others, and we will be able to fulfill what he has called us to do on this earth during the time he has put us here.
Amen. And, just as Caleb is saying, Jesus set that example for us. That relationship that he had with his Father, where he loved the Father so much that it was absolute obedience, absolute surrender and submission to anything the Father told him to do. And if we're going to live a life worth living, that's how we're going to live with Jesus. There is going to be a love in our heart that is so deep by the time Jesus comes back for us as a bride without spot, wrinkle, or blemish. How does that happen? It's a work that God does in your heart every single day with your submission and your obedience to his will for your life. And that's the life that's worth living. I mean, if you go all the way back to Genesis and think, why did God even place man on this earth? He placed man, he created man to love him. He created man to worship him. He created man for his fellowship. Every day in that garden, God walked in the cool of the evening and fellowshiped with Adam and with Eve. And they didn't love him in the end. They didn't love him enough to obey him. And we see so clearly when Jesus even speaks to us in Matthew 22, he shows us how serious it is. And he shows us how the Father thinks about this and how he thinks about it. And one of the lawyers, experts in the Mosaic Law, approached Jesus with a question and said, Teacher, what is the greatest commandment in the law? We see that some commandments are light, and which ones are heavy? And this was Jesus' response. He said, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind and your intellect. This is the first and the greatest commandment. And that, if Jesus tells us it's the first and the greatest commandment, we want to start there in our lives. We want to make sure, do we love Jesus? What does it mean to love him? Do we want to please him? Do we want to worship him? Do we want to obey him? And it's so important. It originally it said it in Deuteronomy 6, verse 5. God tells his people, you shall love, through Moses, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and all your soul, with all your strength, with your entire being. That leaves out nothing. We want to love Jesus and please him with everything we do, everything we think, and everything we say. And it's so important.
It is. And then in Deuteronomy 10, verse 12, Moses said again, now Israel, what does the Lord your God require from you? But to fear and worship the Lord your God with awe-filled reverence and profound respect, to walk, that is, to live each and every day in all his ways, and to love him. And then out of that place where we love God with our whole heart, with all our body, with all our soul, with all our might, with all our mind, it says that we will serve the Lord. He commands them to serve the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, your choices, your thoughts, your whole being. And when we walk in that place of loving God, we will serve him. We will obey his commands.
That's right. And it's a choice. It's a choice. And it is so important. We can't look at it like it's a suggestion to love the Lord our God, to obey him, to walk in his gift and calling on our lives. It's not a suggestion. It is a commandment. As you can see here in these scriptures, it is very important to God that we give him our all, and that we don't walk in our life thinking, yeah, I know I should do this, and yeah, I put it off till tomorrow. No, today is the day of salvation, because none of us know when Jesus is coming back. And if he comes back and he doesn't find us making an effort to serve him, we're not going to go to heaven with him. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. Because in Deuteronomy 30, it's so clear that it's a work that God wants to do in his relationship with us. And in other places, it tells them, my covenant with you, he told Abraham, is that I will be your God and you will be my people. And this is the portion. It says, the Lord your God will circumcise your heart and the hearts of your descendants. Well, what does that mean? It means that he will remove the desire to sin from your heart so that you can love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, and that you may live. And right there, I mean, if we're not loving Jesus, we're loving something, because that's how we've been created. You've been formed and fashioned to worship something. You're either loving him and serving him with all your heart, or you're serving other gods. And that was the first commandment that he gave, is you shall have, in the 10 Commandments, you shall have no other gods before me. And he says, he promises in covenant with us that he will take even the desire to sin out of our lives, that you may love the Lord your God, that you may obey his voice, that you may cling to him, for he is your life. We have to believe that. He is the length of your days, that you may live and dwell on the land that God swore to give to you. He is the length of your days. He is your life. He is the reason we live. And even in Luke 7:47, where the lady came and washed Jesus' feet because she was so grateful that he had delivered her from all of her sin. And he told those disciples, he said, therefore I tell you, her sins, as many as they are forgiven her, because she has loved much. But he who is forgiven little loves little. The more we have in our lives that we serve apart from God, and the more where our sin has made a separation between us and our God, the less we love Jesus. The more we allow him to deliver us, save us, so that we can obey him and serve him, the more we're going to love him, and the more we will obey him.
That's right. In Joshua 22:5, Joshua is again bringing this commandment to the children of Israel. Take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law which Moses the servant of the Lord charged you, which is to love the Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cling to and unite with him, and to serve him with all your heart and soul, your very life. It is our life. This is what God has called us to do, to walk with him, to love him, to serve him. That is, we who are his, we Christians, that is what he has placed us on this earth to do.
And there's so many examples in the Bible. I mean, if you just even think of Moses, he loved God's presence. He told God, I will not go ahead without your presence. And that's the way God wants us to be. God wants us to cling to him like the examples in the Bible, his servant Moses. If you go back, though, to Matthew 22, and in the latter part of what Jesus told them, he told them that the first commandment was that they loved the Lord their God with all their heart. Out of that place, he said, the second one is just like it. You shall love your neighbor as you do yourself. You shall unselfishly seek the best or the higher good for others. And that is so important to Jesus. At every point in our life that we have our eyes on ourselves, we've taken our eyes off loving Jesus, we've taken our eyes off taking care of God's people, our life becomes miserable. But at every point in our lives that we are doing good for others, that we are showing kindness and love towards others out of the place where we love Jesus, our life is so fulfilled. It's a treasure. It's a happy path. I mean, Jesus even said to Peter in John 21, they had finished eating, and he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these others do? And he said, Lord, you know all things. You know, he said, and Jesus replied, if you love me, feed my lambs. And Jesus went on to ask him the same question 3 times, proving Peter's heart, showing him, if you love me truly, then you will take care of my people. And it says, he said to him a second time, if you love me, feed and tend my sheep. If you love me, a third time he told him, feed my sheep. We want to take care of God's people, because it tells us in Matthew 25, and our daughter Addison had this for Bible the other morning, and it just became such a reality to me. And she read the whole thing, and she was just saying, Mom, I want to take good care of God's people, and I want to be a blessing to someone today. And when she read it, and as I read it, you'll see, I said, Addison, do you realize the kingdom of God boils down to, what it boils down to is, do you love the Lord your God with all your heart, and do you love God's people? Will you fight for them? Will you feed them? Will you care for them? Because you love Jesus. Now listen to what it says in Matthew 25. It says, then the king will say to those on his right hand, come, you blessed of my Father, favored of God, and appointed to eternal salvation. That's who I want to be. That's who you want to be. What does he say? Who are you? Blessed and favored? Who's at the right hand? For when I was hungry, you gave me food. And when I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. And when I was a stranger, you brought me together with yourself and welcomed and lodged me.
And in 1 John chapter 4, verse 19, it says, we love him. We love God because he first loved us. And is that not true? I mean, what have we done in comparison to what God has done for us? I mean, think about in your life, whether you know it or not, whether you're aware of God's hand on your life or not, God has loved us. God loves you. He is drawing you. He is drawing us. He continues to draw us. He has done so much for us. We things we don't even know. And out of that place, we love God and we love our fellow man. Verse 20, if anyone says that I love God, but he hates his brother in Christ, he's a liar. For he who does not love his brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. And that's the fruit that we see in those who are true Christians. They love God and they love each other.
And today, if you have aught in your heart against your brother, you can love Jesus enough to allow him to deliver you from that. Because you know and you realize these scriptures that say, if you love me, you're going to love your brother.
It's not worth holding on to anything.
It's not.
Let it go. It says, this command we have from him, that he who loves God shall love his brother and the believer also.
That's right, because even back in Matthew 25, at the very end of it, they said, well, how did we feed you? How did we take care of you? And Jesus said, if you've done it unto the least of these in the estimation of man, you've done it unto me. You loving your brother, you taking care of your brother is loving Jesus. It is the will of God for our life. It is the call of God on our life. And that's just the way it is.
And then in John chapter 14, going another step, it says, Jesus said, if you really love me, you will keep and obey my commands. We want to be obedient, and we obey God, we serve him, we obey his commands and his word, and we fear and revere what he has told us and taught us because we love him. It's not out of a duty, it's not out of a sense of being scared for punishment of what might happen or the consequences of what might happen if we do not obey. We want to obey God because we love him, and we want that place with our whole heart, our whole life, to serve him. And it goes on after, this was verse 15, if you really love me, you will keep my commands. In 16, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another comforter, talking about the Holy Spirit, that he may remain with you forever. And again, those of us who are born again, who are Christians, we have the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
We can hear his voice, we can obey his commands. Verse 21, the person who has my commands and keeps them is the one who really loves me. And whoever really loves me will be loved by my Father. And I too will love him and will show and reveal and manifest myself to him. I will let myself be clearly seen by him and make myself real to him. And a lot of people, they may think they are Christians. They may think they have a relationship with God. But does God make himself real to you? Does God, right. Do you see the hand of God in your life? Do you fellowship with God? Do you cry out to God and hear God's answer come when you have a need, when you have a question?
That's right. I mean, truly, this is our measuring stick. You know, there's plenty of people out in the world that if you ask them, just like, Jesus asked Peter, do you love me? Well, I mean, yes, I love you. You know I love you. I don't dislike you. That's not what he means. What he means is right here. Do you keep my commandments? If God speaks to your heart, do you obey him? If God speaks even from your pastor and tells you this is sin and we do not do this, do you love Jesus enough to obey that? Do you love Jesus enough to lay down your life, lay down your desires for someone else to make sure they make it to heaven? That's the measuring stick. And that's the way we want to be.
It is. In 1 Corinthians 8, verse 3, it says, if one loves God truly, that means that they will have affectionate reverence and prompt obedience, grateful recognition of his blessings. Again, God has done so much for us.
That's right.
He has blessed us so much. And it's out of that place we love him and we want to obey him promptly. We want to show him that reverence that he is due.
That's right. And I mean, look at 1 John 2:5. He who keeps and treasures God's word, who bears in mind his precepts, who observes his message in its entirety. I mean, so many times we've been guilty of obeying part of the message and then being forgetful and neglectful and going on about our business and our daily life and just letting go. No, We want to treasure and keep his word in our heart because we love the Lord our God with all our mind and all our heart. He who observes his message in its entirety, truly in him has the love of and for God been perfected, completed, and reached maturity. By this we may know and perceive and recognize and be sure that we are in him. Again, our measuring stick. Are we treasuring God's word in our heart? Are we reading God's word? Are we getting in there and digging in and finding out what does it say about our life? I love you, Jesus. I want to know you. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you say about my life. I want to obey that in its entirety. Then we know that the love of God is being perfected in our hearts.
That's right, and we know that we are born again. It says in 1 John chapter 5, verse 1, everyone who believes that Jesus is the Christ is a born-again child of God, and everyone who loves the Father also loves the one born of him. By this we come to know that we love the children of God when we love God and obey his commands, when we keep his ordinances and are mindful of his precepts and his teaching. For the true love of God is this, that we do his commands, that we keep his ordinances and are mindful of his precepts and teachings. That's how we want to live.
That's right. And there are so many examples of a heart that loves God in the book of Psalms. And really, we begin to even study this. One of my students read Psalm 18:1, and it just like exploded in my heart. It says, I love you, oh my God, fervently and devotedly. And that's the way I want to be. Yes. I mean, David loved him. You can see and hear his heart, how deep that went in him. I mean, going on, Psalms 31:23, oh, love the Lord, you saints, all you saints. The Lord preserves the faithful and plentifully pays back those who deal haughtily. We don't want to be that way. We want to love Jesus. And even David is commanding us. And 97:10, oh, you who love the Lord, hate evil. We love the Lord and we hate evil because God hates evil. And we want to please him. It says he preserves the life of the saints, the children of God. He delivers them out of the hand of the wicked. How wonderful that is. Psalms 116:1 says, I love the Lord because he has heard and now hears my voice in supplication. You can believe that. You can love God enough to believe that. Psalm 119:151 says, consider how I love your precepts and revive me. And give me life, Lord, according to your loving kindness. David truly knew the loving kindness of his God. The Lord preserves, in Psalm 145:20, the Lord preserves all who love him, but the wicked he will destroy. God will love you when you love him. And Psalm 91:14 is very special. It says, because he, us, has set his love on me, Jesus, therefore I will deliver him. And that's a promise that you can trust in. You set your love on Jesus today, and you can trust he will deliver you. I will set him on high because he knows and understands my name. He has personal knowledge of my mercy, my love, my kindness. He trusts in me. He relies on me, knowing I will never forsake him. It's so important that we set our love on Jesus.
That's right. And we have a warning, 1 Corinthians 16:22. If anyone does not love the Lord, does not have a friendly affection for him, and is not kindly disposed toward him, he shall be accursed, for our Lord will come.
That's right.
So, again, it's our relationship with God. This is how he has called us to walk. This is what he created us to be, to fellowship with him, to love him, to serve him. And then in Luke chapter 1, verse 17, this is where it was being foretold about John the Baptist was going to come and what he was going to do. And it says, John the Baptist will himself go before him, Jesus, in the spirit and power of Elijah, to turn back the hearts of the fathers to the children, and to turn back the disobedient and the incredulous and unpersuadable to the wisdom of the upright. These are people who had lost that place of the love of God and the relationship with God. And it says, the wisdom of the upright is the knowledge and the holy love of the will of God. So it's not just loving God. It's the love, again, of the will of God. Going back to John 5:30, that we do not have our own will. We cannot decide and make judgments on our own. We cannot do anything on our own. It's only when the voice comes to us and God speaks to us what His will is for our life that we can obey. And we want to obey because we love God.
That's right. And in 2 Thessalonians 3:5, I mean, it says, you read it a second ago, our Lord is coming. And in 2 Thessalonians 3:5, it says, may the Lord direct your hearts into realizing and showing you the love of God, into steadfastness and patience of Christ in waiting His return. Love Him while He's on His way to you. Be patient in His return. The trials we face, the tribulations we face, it's nothing compared to how much we love Jesus. And even in James 1:12, God promises us the victor's crown of life for those who love Him. I mean, that's important. And he in James 2:5, He promises that to the believers to inherit the kingdom of heaven, which is promised to those who love Him. I mean, we want those promises to come true in our life. Even in Romans 8:28, it says that we know and are confident that God works all things out in His plan for the good of those who love Him. I mean, that's a promise to us, and we want to believe that.
That's right. And there are so many other examples in the Bible about those who loved God, those who walked with God, and the fruit that was in their life and how God used them. And maybe in the future we'll have more time, we can share some. But in Joshua 23, again, the children of Israel were admonished, be very careful and watchful of yourselves to love the Lord your God. In 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 8, this is what we want our hearts to be. Without having seen Him, we love Him. Though you do not even now see Him, you believe in Him and exult and thrill with inexpressible and glorious, triumphant, heavenly joy. We want that to be said of us.
Amen. And we'd like to sing a song for you, and it just shows our heart, how we love Jesus, and just let it go into your heart as we sing.
I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul, rejoice. Take joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. Singing hallelujah, hallelujah, praise and worship to your name. Singing hallelujah, hallelujah, praise and worship to your name. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because He first loved me. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because He first loved me. Because He first loved me.
Truly, we love Jesus, and truly we want to continue to love Jesus. And as we go today, let God put that in your heart, just a love for him and just a desire you want to obey him because he is so good to us.
Thank you so much for being with us. We're here on WCAB Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:30 to 9 a.m. And you can see it, other programs on our website, www.wordoffaithfellowship.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the 30th Annual Ellenboro Fiddlers and Bluegrass Convention. Saturday night, November the 20th at 6 o'clock. Some of the finest bluegrass